Hi, I'm Pat Gage from the Block G Group and OpportunityCreator.com. And in this short video, I'm going to answer a question, the second question that a listener sent in, Gabrielle, from our last Mastermind webinar, which we hold bi-weekly on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, and I'll give you more details about that later. But she sent in, the second question is how to network and where. And then the second part of her question is, who do I network with? Brokers, property managers, etc. Now, Gabrielle, let me back up. Who you network and where depends on which asset class that you're going after, okay? Because in each asset class, now we are talking about commercial real estate here, each asset class is obviously going to have brokers. Obviously, they're going to have property managers. They're going to have possibly, let's say, vendors in that industry. So those are the things you want to target. But first, you want to figure out what asset class you're looking at getting into: multifamily, self-storage, billboards, land, a lot of different things. So in each one of those, they have vendors or people that service that industry. So let's take commercial real estate. Let's take the apartment building or multifamily. Now, where you'd network is obviously, I'm holding probably one of the most powerful computers, that you have. It's your phone. Google, right? Google is your best friend. So you Google, let's say brokers, let's say, apartment vendors, property managers in that area that you're trying to get into. And again, knowing what asset class that you're looking at getting into, two, knowing what vendors that support that class, right? You're always going to have brokers, right? You're always going to have brokers, whether residential or commercial. So start there. Property managers is another good one too. Start talking with them. And again, going back to your target market, your target property, right? You just call them up, hey, I'm looking for a good deal. Okay, great. I've got a one-bedroom unit. You got to be more targeted. Again, goes back to your elevator speech. So where to network and where during the pandemic. There is so many conferences out there that are all now virtual. I've seen a lot of them now going virtual or hybrid, in person, whatever. In person and also online, and typically online is cheaper. But again, cheap or not, it's somewhere to do. So where to network is, again, figure out what asset class you're going into. Is it residential, is it commercial? And then start Googling conferences with that in the title. Virtual networking meetings, commercial real estate, virtual networking meetings, residential real estate, and maybe do your state or your city. And that's a good way, and that's a good place to start first. One is to figure out where you're going, what asset class you're in, single family, commercial, that first, and then dip down. But yes, going and talking to brokers is definitely one way to do it. And again, as I'm filming this here in May of 2021, we're in a seller's market. A lot of brokers I talk to, they're getting so many calls, so many emails, and all this kind of stuff. I heard somebody say the other day they talked to a broker, and one of the questions came up and says, "What would you like everybody that's calling you to do?" And then his response back was, "Read the OMs, read the offering memorandums," because he says a lot of the questions that I'm getting are in the OMs, are in the offer. I'm already putting it in there. So, but kind of a side note. But that's what I would do, Gabrielle, is start there first, figure out what asset class you're going after, and then start Googling it from there. But yes, definitely talk to the brokers. Definitely start talking to the property managers. And again, going down to the property manager level is going to be easier once you know, okay, I'm going after 24 to 28 units. Okay, so now you can target that property manager that manages that property range, and that's what you're looking for. You don't want to be talking to a property manager that does over 1,000 units, and you're trying to do a twoplex, right, or a fourplex. There's not going to be much connection there. They're not going to have clients that they can refer you to if they want to sell, because they're in the thousands. So when you're going after property managers, definitely look for the range that they manage. Are they what and a question you would ask them is, hey, what is your specialty? What is your specialty range in the number of units you manage? They say, oh well, we're in the 50 to 100 range. Okay, if that's your target range, then that's a company to get familiar with and start having lunch with, or start calling them and saying, hey, what would you do hypothetically if I had this type of property? How would you manage it? What would you charge? And just start talking to them. But that's a best way to do it, is kind of figure out where you want to go, Gabrielle and others. What's your elevator speech? Mine is 32 units to 140 units in Class B and C areas. I'm not looking for 200 units. I'm not looking for 1,000. I'm not looking for 5. But it's very distinct target. So now when you take that target, you can then go in, or your elevator speech, and go and talk to the brokers, the property managers, the vendors that you're going to be running into in these areas. Okay, well, listen, I hope this helped. Thank you very much for the question, Gabrielle. And please join us, Gabrielle and others, on a bi-weekly on Wednesdays as our mastermind, the Commercial Real Estate Investing Mastermind. You can find all the information out and where to register for the next one, which is May 19th coming up. It's every other week, every other Wednesday. On 7 o'clock Eastern, but you can find out more information about it at opportunitycreator.com. And I'm Pat Gage, and you have a great and fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon.